Hey there, my fellow intellectuals. How are you doing today? Today is June 22nd, 2020, and I'm in my parents' basement in San Francisco, California. I've got the laundry going in the background because I'm here, helping out around the house while I'm home. But I'm also sitting at my desk, my old desk that I used throughout high school. And as you can see, my dad has converted the back part of that desk into his own personal ham radio station. So he got his ham radio license and is now just talking to people over ham radio in his spare time. But I'm reclaiming the desk for the week while I'm back, and as you can see, I've set up my external monitor there, which I actually thought was broken. I tried setting it up sometime, I don't know how long ago, but it didn't work, and I thought it was just broken, but I kept it around, and I came back a few days ago, set it up, and what do you know, it extends the display of my laptop. So awesome, I get a second monitor to use to try and remain somewhat productive throughout this week. So yeah, that's that. Going to be here for the next week. I thought it might be cool if you guys just, see what life is like at home, but how the flexibility of being a graduate student works into that, as in I can still actually do all of the work I need to do anywhere, as long as I have my laptop and a connection to my computer at school. So yeah, this is pretty sick. I am going to try this out and see how this setup works, and you guys are going to see me do it. So let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, so the laundry is still running, so apologies if the noise is a bit annoying, but I wanted to show you guys a bit of a paper that I was reading, and I'm still reading. I haven't read through the entire thing, but I got to a point that looked kind of cool, and I think this is a good chance for me to introduce a part of the graduate student process that I haven't really covered in the previous vlogs that I've done, and that is looking at the literature. So one place to go that is very common is this site known as Archive. It's arxiv.org, and Archive is the place where people in physics and astrophysics will post preprints of their journal articles, of their research articles that they've submitted for publication. So you sort of see the preprint of the article before it gets published by the scientific journal. And this is typically, I think this is typically done where you have already submitted it and it's sort of in the reviewing phase, but it's still, the initial results are available to be seen. So I go on Archive frequently as a graduate student should, and I try my best to look for papers that are relevant to what I do. So we're looking at black holes that have been observed with ALMA, and maybe even more specifically looking at black hole mass measurements. So any of those kinds of papers always sort of strike my attention. And I saw one that seemed kind of cool, especially who was on the author list, because this is someone who my advisor collaborates with quite a bit. And the title of this paper, if you go on Archive, if you want to look at it, it's on there. I can also link it in the description. It says, "Hunting for Wandering Massive Black Holes." And to me, that sounds already kind of interesting, because obviously there's black holes and they're wandering, and I just saw the title and was like, what is that all about? And essentially what they're doing is that they're trying to do some numerical simulations and numerical simulations of accretion flows onto massive black holes that have been essentially ejected from the centers of these galaxies. So they're doing sort of three-dimensional hydrodynamic simulations of these accretion flows of these black holes that are sort of wandering around the outskirts of galaxies. And I wanted to show you guys this really cool set of images that I saw. That there might be even more cool images. I haven't seen the whole thing completely, but if we look over here, these are sort of numerical simulations, computer numerical simulations of different accretion flows at different times, and I think all of these plots show different quantities here. Yeah, so you have like density, temperature, mass, I think that's velocity, that's radial velocity, and that's azimuthal velocity. So really cool stuff. I am not well versed in this field at all, really. I don't really do numerical simulations as complicated as this, but I'm always interested in these sort of research topics because I think numerical simulation is really cool, especially when it deals with black holes and trying to understand the dynamics and the properties of these black holes. So just something I thought I would share with you guys. I'll try my best to get through this paper. It's probably in my best interest not to read the entire thing word for word, but I'm probably just going to skim around, see the stuff that looks cool, and take away what I can from that. So hope you guys thought that was cool, and I'll get back to working now. So let's get back at it. Okay guys, so I am currently outside in my parents' backyard. It's a very nice San Franciscan day. It's a little bit windy, but we got blue skies, we got sun, and I just thought I might as well just get a breather, get some fresh air since I'm just right by the exit to the backyard. And so it just feels really nice to be home, to be honest. I was away from home for the past 6 months. It's the longest I've been away from San Francisco, I think in my entire life, essentially. And it just feels good to be back. There's no place like home. Pretty cliche, but it's true. There's no place like this. Can admire the beautiful garden that I don't have in Irvine to admire. So, yeah, you know, this is a really nice place to just come out, collect my thoughts, sort of think about what I've been doing. And I am in the process of coding up a rather tedious thing, essentially, where I'm trying to make a slight adjustment to one of the models I've made in my dynamical modeling process. And essentially, I just need to essentially just like raise the slope of a curve by a certain amount, but I can't really predict how much slight changes are going to affect the slope. And so I'm sort of just doing trial and error and just trying to figure out, you know, I want it to go up by a certain amount, and I have to sort of try different values and see if they produce that value. So, anyways, I want to get back inside, but it was nice to step outside with you guys, and hopefully you can appreciate the nice garden over there. That has nice plants and nice design and the like. So, heading back inside. Okay, so I just started an optimization run on my computer, so I have some time to kill, and I was looking through my old drawers by my desk, and I found something that was kind of cool that I would share with you guys, and it is this. My old iPod Nano. I forgot what generation this is, but this used to be the iPod that I would use almost every day to listen to music when I was in high school. So this was before the days, in the prehistoric times when we had to have iPods and phones completely separate from each other, right? We're living in this such such hard times because we had to have multiple devices for multiple things as opposed to the smartphones we have nowadays. But I thought it would be kind of cool if I look at the different artists that I have in my iPod and just sort of tell you guys the kind of music I used to listen to. And this gives you guys a chance to respond to me, and I want to know what kind of music you like to listen to, if you like to listen to music while you work, or if you just like to listen to music in general while you're not working. But since this is a channel about sort of like me showing you what the life is and of an astrophysics PhD student and working, you see that I'm listening to music a lot of the time. So nowadays I listen to a lot of Deadmau5 and Metallica, which is not dissimilar to what I listened to in high school at all. I listened to Metallica every day on the bus to high school and back. So still a huge fan of Metallica to this very, very day. But now I'm also listening to some sort of classical music. So I've been listening to Chopin piano, listening to Bach and Mozart, Beethoven. I learned how to play the piano when I was a young age, and so classical music has always been an interest of mine. So I like listening to classical music when I work. It's kind of calming. But I'd love to know what you guys like to listen to when you work, and if you got any suggestions in terms of music that I should check out and try and groove to while I'm working, I'm more than happy to take any suggestions you might have for me. So yeah, this is kind of cool. I just charged it up, so I'm looking through some old stuff. I have a weird set of music here. I would like to show you guys, but I can't seem to get this screen to focus that well. Let's see, can I do it? I think I have to do it at some weird angle here, but okay, looks like you got some stuff here. So hopefully you can see the kind of stuff that I'm listening to. I have the screen inverted that I'm looking in the camera, so I can't really read it that well behind. But yeah, we can just scroll through this together. And who remembers having to do this motion, this sort of counterclockwise and clockwise motion on your iPods? I mean, this is classic, guys. This is absolutely classic, and nothing is moving. I think that's Deadmau5 right there. Yep, and we keep going up, and you can see more of the music I'm listening to. But man, this brings back so many memories. I can't believe I still have it somewhere, and has all my good songs in here. So I might actually just listen to this while I'm working. So thought that was kind of cool. I hope you have good suggestions, and I will get back to well, I guess I'll get back to work then. So it turns out I actually totally forgot that I had a Zoom talk today that I wanted to watch, and it's on fast radio bursts. So if you look at my screen here, here's the title of the talk. It's actually on Facebook Live that the stream is happening. It's live stream, and I'm going to be listening for the next, I guess, hour or so because I don't really know much about fast radio bursts, and it's hosted by McGill University in Canada. So this will be very interesting. Going to seminars is definitely part of the graduate student experience, both at your own institution, but also now with the quarantine, attending other schools' seminars are now possible. So this is kind of cool. So I get to see what people at McGill are up to. And actually, I went to McGill when I was in high school. I actually visited Montreal when I was like 14 years old. It was a really awesome trip. I really loved it. And I got to walk around McGill's campus, and it was absolutely beautiful. Thought about applying there, but it was so far. I mean, it's so far into another country that I didn't feel comfortable going that far away from home. But nonetheless, going to be listening to this talk, and we're going to see how it goes. So I just finished the talk on fast radio bursts, and it was incredibly insightful because I really don't know much of anything about fast radio bursts. I took a bit of notes down while I was listening to the speaker give their talk, and this is something I like to do whenever I am listening to a seminar because I typically I'm not going to be an expert in the thing that they're speaking on, and I want to retain some of this new information that I'm learning. But essentially, a fast radio burst is kind of like its name implies, a transient signal, something that is sort of pulsing rapidly, instantaneously almost, in the radio wavelength regime from some sort of astrophysical source. So fast radio bursts astronomy, or fast radio burst radio astronomy specifically, is using radio telescopes to study these transient bursts that happen in the radio wavelength regime. And for me, as someone who does radio astronomy, because I use a radio telescope, ALMA, to measure the masses of supermassive black holes, this was kind of cool for me to see, what else radio astronomy has to offer. And, radio astronomy itself is huge. Radio astronomy is a subset of the bigger field of astronomy, but even within radio astronomy itself, there's so many different avenues that you can explore, and I'm in such a very, niche area, but it's so cool to see, these new and different radio telescope arrays that are being used to track down these fast radio bursts, and how recent fast radio burst astronomy recently just came about. So these fast radio bursts, the very first official one was discovered back in 2007, which is super recent in terms of scientific discovery. And already in the past just couple of years, the speaker was talking about these different discoveries that these different fast radio burst discoveries that have been made that are completely shaping the field every time they find them. So one of the things I learned from the speaker is that the origin of these fast radio bursts are still not precisely known. There are a couple of theories as to what they could be. One idea I remember him throwing out was they could be the result of a neutron star merger. So you have like two neutron stars that are merging. And then I guess you could also use gravitational waves to sort of verify that there was an event like that, if you could pick up the gravitational wave signal. There was also listing here, it says pulsar/magnetar origin. So pulsars and magnetars are these rotating neutron stars. I think magnetars rotate a bit faster than pulsars and also have way stronger magnetic fields than pulsars, but that's sort of the idea. You have this sort of dense neutron star object, which is a stellar remnant. So you have a star that is maybe a couple of times more massive than our sun that dies, and it can become a white dwarf, but it can also become a neutron star if it collapses further from the white dwarf stage and becomes this extremely dense neutron star, where you're effectively fitting a solar mass, the mass of the sun, to maybe 2 times the mass of the sun inside about 10 to 20 kilometers. That's crazy. Imagine fitting like 1.5 times the mass of the sun in a size of like a city, like San Francisco, like I'm living in here, right? That's crazy. Like if you think about that, that means like a teaspoon of this neutron star material, this very dense material, would be more heavy than Mount Everest on Earth. Just a teaspoon. That's how dense these objects are. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I know I don't really get this excited when I'm talking about it, but really learning about this stuff was just so cool. I had never really thought about fast radio bursts at all, and now I'm learning all this new information and how all these new radio telescopes are being constructed to search for their origins. And I'm just excited. I mean, it's really exciting. I don't do it, but I think it's going to be a really cool avenue for astronomers to explore, and it's so cool to know that radio wavelength regimes are going to be at the forefront of this particular junction. So that was super cool. And with that, it's now past 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to get ready for dinner with my family because I'm back home here in San Francisco. But I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope you could still see the sort of versatility of the life of an astrophysics PhD student, because I don't really have to work in an office. I don't really have to work at my apartment. I can really work wherever I can set up my laptop and connect to my computer at work. And I felt pretty productive today, to be honest. I got a lot of important things done, and I think as long as I keep this up, I should be good by the time I go back to Irvine. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Like I said before, I hope you're going to enjoy I guess the couple of days that I'm going to spend here and hopefully share with you guys in San Francisco. And with that, I will take off, and I'll wish you guys a great day. So have a good one, guys.